Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with another episode of Amphibia. This time season 3, episode 15? 16? 16. Sorry, 16. And this is kind of our ending stretch here. The next two episodes are both double length. Okay. The next episode is double length. The episode after that is still a little longer than normal, but it's not quite double length. It's just a little bit longer. But both of the next episodes are definitely longer. Because let's see. Yeah, because episode 17 says it's 47 minutes. 47 and a half minutes. And episode 18 says 29 minutes, specifically. So, that's pretty interesting in and of itself. Give me a second here. So, that's going to be interesting to see how that is handled. But that also definitely confirms that we are going to be only doing still the one episode at a time, continuing until the end. I'm very interested to see how this all goes. It's going to be really, really big. It's going to be a huge ending, and with the next episode being twice as long, you know it's going to get insane. We have a lot of stuff to wrap up, and we have 3 episodes to do it. Technically the length of about 4 episodes, but it kind of begs the question as to how much am I going to cry? Because you know I'm going to. You know for a fact I'm going to cry. It's just a matter of how much. And it's a weird it's kind of a weird thing to say, but I'm kind of excited to. Because as I've said plenty of times before, it's wild to me how much this series has changed for me from the beginning. It started off as something that I was not really that big of a fan of, and even dropped. And unlike with Owl House, I actually really wasn't like enjoying it at the time I dropped it. Owl House I dropped for a very specific single reason, and I regret that as well. But picking this back up as a donation reward was one of the just best things that could have happened, honestly. And I'm so thankful to Sweet Venom for donating to make sure I continued this. But we are closing in on the end here. And we're about to enter the big battle of this war, the final battle. To rescue Marcy, to get the Calamity Box, to defeat Andreas, to defeat the collective minds of all of Amphibia's greatest, to defeat everything. All the bad guys need to be taken out. All the heroes need to, succeed. I have no idea how this is going to go. But I will say there's one thing I know about continuing forward. And it's not so much I know what the hell is going on. I saw a screenshot of something, and it's like, oh, I can kind of maybe guess at, to some degree what it's about, but I don't know any of the context around it. to not give away too much, I'll just say it involves the three girls. I saw a screenshot, actually a couple screenshots of the three girls with something very specific and very notable happening. Again, I don't know any context behind it. I'll obviously let you know when it happens. And again, I can guess about what's going on in the image or images to some degree, but I don't know the full details. But we gotta get on with this. Partially because I don't really have much of anything else to say at this point, but also because I also am low on time. If I'm being honest, I'm going somewhere tonight, and I have to get to recording this. Of course, by the time I'm uploading this, I'll already be back from where I went, but still. So yeah. Either way, I'm excited to see what we have in store. Let's just get this going. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades black and then it fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I figured this was going to lead into the final battle and everything. I figured that the last two episodes, especially with the last episode being, or the second to last episode being double length, I figured it was going to be a lot more, that it was going to be pretty much the end game, and that this was going to at least start the battle. I didn't know how far it was going to go into it, though, and I really did not expect this battle to kind of just be only in this episode, really. I expected it to go into the next episode and everything, and I expected, I guess, a lot more from it. But no, the actual battle, the war for Amphibia is, at least for the time being, over. It might resume, but for now, Andreas and his armies are invading Earth. The invasion has succeeded. And now, presumably, we're going to get help from the Boonchoys and everyone else that we met on Earth. That's my guess. But throughout this episode, as I was watching, there were multiple points where I'm thinking, like, oh, I'm going to use that as my thumbnail. And it just kept changing the entire time. Because there's so many iconic moments in this. So many huge, amazing points of interest. And so it's like it's practically impossible for me to properly talk about it all here, unless I wanted to make these afterthoughts like an hour long, which I don't have the time for. So I'm going to keep this brief. I'm not going to get to everything in these afterthoughts. If you want to know specifically my thoughts on anything that I don't mention here, please feel free to ask. So the first segment here is basically just about getting the armies to work together. Anne tries to act as a mediator. It doesn't work, and they feel guilty over making her upset and decide to work together in the end. And the second segment is about the battle. The attack on Andreas and his armies, and the fight against Andreas and against Darcy. Well, and I guess you could say Olivia and Yunnan as well. And it's mostly seems to be going okay at first, even though Andreas comes out and joins the fight and is obviously very strong. Um, but it's soon revealed that it was all a trap. That because of Darcy, which no one in the Resistance knew about, they were able to anticipate this because of Marcy's knowledge of this movie. They were able to know that this was the plan they were going to go for. And because of that, Darcy was able to use it as a trap. And unfortunately, it very much worked. They fell into the trap hard, and Darcy captured the leaders. All of the leaders. Sasha, Anne, Grime, all of them. Hop Hop. And so, I think the only one who wasn't caught in terms of like a leader would be oh wait, no. I was gonna say like Grimes' sister, but technically she's not the leader of the Toad side. Technically Grime is. They agreed to follow her after or they agreed to follow Grime after he and Sasha got Barrel's Warhammer. And I guess you could say Tritonio isn't really the leader of the Newt side of the army either. But he more is compared to anyone else, really. Like, there's no other leader. Hop Pop is definitely the leader of the Frog army, though. That much is clear. Either way, they were still caught. All the leaders were caught, and the invasion is successful. And, yeah, the biggest thing is the fact that no one there knew about Darcy. Because of that, they really had no way to win here. So the question is, does Anne have to go full power form in order to stop them? And like, how will she get the opportunity too? Because it's like she can't fully control the form. She's not really skilled with it per se. And it seems like she can't even use it too much at a time. Plus, Andreas knows about it at this point, so it's not even like she can use it as a surprise at this point. How are they going to turn this around? Like, Anne was able to buy time by stopping Darcy from killing her right there with the entire question of, will this return the power to the stone? And that was able to save some time, at least, to put things off, but where do you go from here? The only thing I can think of that would turn things around is if Andreas does turn on Darcy, which I think is a very strong possibility because of all the setup with Andreas, with his backstory and his past, and having a connection and a friendship with who very well might be, and is even possibly implied to be, the planter's ancestor. There's just a lot that really is going to happen in this finale. And I have no idea how it's going to wrap up here. I have no idea how they're going to get out of this. Again, unless Andreas does turn, but why would he just randomly start to turn on Darcy? There would have to be something to trigger that, and I don't know what that would even be at this point. I have no clue where this is going. But, like I said, we're going to do one episode at a time, still. We're not going to do the next 2 episodes together, especially since the next episode is double length. We're just going to do them one at a time. And, yeah, It's probably going to be very hard, but it's going to be worth it, I feel. And I bet anything that this finale is going to, again, make me cry, make me really hyped, and just, I think it's going to stick the landing. Pretty much everyone has said that this is a really damn good finale. And they've all said it pretty much sticks the landing. Oh, also, I said there was like the one thing I knew about with the three girls. There's actually one other thing I do know about, but that's like very end kind of thing. And it's just basically one tiny little thing. I don't even have context for it at all. And again, I'll get to that when it's shown. I'll tell you what it is. But that's like probably very end of the last episode. But yeah, we'll touch on that when we get to that. Either way, tell me what you thought of this episode down in the comments below. And again, if you have any specific questions on anything that I just didn't mention here, because there's just way too much to discuss with any kind of semblance of logic or sanity. And again, I just don't have the time to try to do an hour-long dissection of everything that happened. If you have anything specific you want to ask me about, please feel free. I can talk about it in the comments a lot easier. It's definitely a lot better than trying to force this all into a shorter amount of time in this video. Like I said, tell me your thoughts down below. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.